How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Happy 2026. The reason why I'm making this video is I want to help you guys get your New Year's resolution. I want you guys to win. So I saw a stat that says over 90% of New Year's resolutions don't ever come to pass. And majority of those 90%, it doesn't even happen within it, they fail within the first month. And there are two issues that are often the case that I find. The reason it isn't discipline and it isn't motivation, because you come in with a lot of motivation and without you realizing it, every single human being is unbelievably disciplined. I'll explain that later. But the two major issues is lack of vision and identity. So your identity is tied to your discipline. So if I am identifying as a person, or my identity that I get, obviously you get your identity through God, but your own personality identity, it comes through the things that you do. Like if you get up early every day, you're identifying as someone that gets up early every single day. If you're someone that reads the Bible every single day, that is rooted in your identity. All your habits are rooted in your identity. So I'll take it from one extreme to another. Let's say the overweight, sloppy, unintelligent person that lives in their parents' basement, that plays video games all day, watches porn, does all the bad habits. That person is unbelievably disciplined to the wrong habits. And on the other side, you see someone that's like killing it in like their relationship with God. They have their own business. They're an athlete. They're doing all the things that they're supposed to be doing. Both people are equally as disciplined. It's just a matter of what their identity is rooting, what their identity is causing them to do from a habit standpoint. Whatever habits that are forming their identity, they're both the same amount of discipline. You got me? So that's the identity. That's what I want to talk to you guys about. And what I want to help you guys out with is your identity in Christ. And I feel like this verse, I want to speak, this is my verse for this 2026, and I want this to be your verse. It's actually two verses, Isaiah 43 verse 18 and Isaiah 43 verse 19. So it says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell in the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness, in streams in the wasteland." Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to rejoice, because I want you to realize in this first day of 2026, sit and analyze how far God has brought you, not with just this last year, 2025, but all the years in the past. Every single human being on this earth has felt the contrast of light and darkness, and the fact that God was so faithful that He sustained your breath through it all, that somehow, some way you are here watching me in this video, that is a reason to be grateful. I don't care where your bank account's at. I don't care where your health is at. I don't care what your relationship status is at. This last year of my life has been the hardest year of my life, and it's not even close. And I'm throwing my hands up and praising Him that I get a new day today. I am so grateful that God has been so faithful to me over this unbelievably challenging year of my life. This last year has been the year of significant loss in my life. I feel like the devil robbed me of my future family. I feel like the devil robbed me of a wife. A woman that I planned on married, I feel like the devil robbed that from me. I feel like the devil robbed a purpose from me, a specific calling that I felt like I had on my life. I feel like there's a lot of things in my life that I feel like the devil took from me. But I also feel like there's a bunch of enormous breakthrough that God has bestowed upon me because of my refusal to quit, my refusal to give up, and my refusal to acknowledge the fear, the enormous amount of fear that has been in my life. So I want to tell you guys about the fears that I faced in 2025. So I am someone that is terrified of change. Since I was a kid, I used to cry every single birthday. Every single first day of school, I would cry. I try to go back to my parents. Every single time that like any sort of shift, I was horrified of it. And as a 24-year-old grown man, I still feel the same way. In this last year, I've lived in 3 different states. I've lived in 3 separate states in this last year. And in this last year, God has called me out of the one thing that I got my identity from, football, and the thing that I was best at in this world. So the biggest thing of change, the most amount of change in 1 year of my life has been this last year, 2025. I stopped playing football because I know the Lord led me out of it. I moved from El Paso, Texas, which I thought I would live for the rest of my life, to Las Cruces, New Mexico, then to Orange County, California. I started and failed 3 separate companies. I've attempted to go to multiple different churches and found a church home, and then go into a different church, then a different church, and a different church. I've had unbelievable seasons of loneliness by moving to places that I've never been with no family, literally no connections whatsoever in any of these cities. Yet my refusal to feel the fear, or my refusal to let the fear bother me or change what I do and change my obedience to God, has led me to know what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. And it's led me to have the word spoken over me last night by Pastor Josiah of Freedom House Church, that I get to realize the work that God is actually doing. God is giving me these confirmations. So I want to get back into that verse. Forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. First, I'm going to break down verse 18. So all the former things, I want you forget the former things, as in the struggles. I don't want you to remember all the bad things that happened. Acknowledge the fact that it happened, but do not let that dwell in your identity. I acknowledge the fact that a few years ago that I was addicted to marijuana. I acknowledge the fact that a few years ago I was completely addicted to pornography and women were an idol in my life. And I acknowledge the fact that football was an idol in my life, and that's where I got my identity. But I am refusing to dwell in that past through my current identity. I am a man of God. I'm a hardworking man. I'm a disciplined man. I'm a sober man, and I am a pure man. I'm a man that does not fall into temptation, I will sprint from lust, and I refuse to be a man that will dwell in those former versions of me. You got me? And for you guys, no matter what that last year looked like, I want you to remember, I want you to leave and cleave. I want you to leave the old version of you and cleave to the new work God is doing into your life. I want you to grasp there is a best version of you, a version that is so holy, a version that is so close with Christ that the Holy Spirit gives you so much power and strength that you're able to take unbelievable chances. You're literally able to walk fearlessly with God. I was sitting with myself all day today, and I've been fighting so heavily the emotions that I've felt all year, because the first time that I slowed down and took a second to realize the amount of fear I've faced these last 2 or 3 years has been unbelievable. And the work that God is doing in my life is unbelievable, because I refuse to let fear be a stronghold in my life. If death cannot hold him, if the veil was torn, I get to experience the goodness of God, and so do you. You don't need to have that fear in your life. I'm terrified of change. The flesh in me is terrified of change, but the Holy Spirit has empowered me to take those massive risks, to start my own business, to leave football, to leave my identity, to go to a different city, a different state, different areas that I know literally no one have no help here. But God did. So do not forget those former things, that former version of you, because the new risen version of you is capable of your 2026 vision, is capable of the goals that you've set yourself for 2026. Now we're going to get into verse 19. It says, "See, I am doing a new thing." Acknowledge the work that God is doing into you, and acknowledge the vision that God has given to you for his next year. I apologize, I got a text. Now springs up. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? It's saying God's like, hey, I'm doing this work in you. Do you not see it? I'm going to be honest with you guys. Last night at Freedom House, when Pastor Josiah said this verse, I'm fighting really hard not to get emotional right now, because I refused to see the work God was doing in me. I was so stuck up on my day-to-day. I was so stuck up on my next goal, that I refused to see the giant work God's done in my life. I felt like a failure at the end of this year because I wasn't on 10K a month like I thought I was going to be. I thought I was a failure because I thought my business was going to look like this. But I didn't realize the work God did in me. I started and failed 4 different companies this year. God adjusts where I lived. God adjusts what I'm doing. God adjusts my friend circle. God adjusts my church home. God adjusts how I serve, what I do. But now I see how much of a giant success 2025 was, because no matter what happened, I didn't give up on God and God didn't give up on me. And at the end of the day, that's more important than any financial goal I had, any physical goal I had. But at the end of the day, God held me through. So now I want to help you guys apply to get that actual result that you want, because there are a lot of goals in my life that I have achieved. At a very young age, I was unbelievably successful. And for how young I am right now, I'm unbelievably successful in many areas of my life. So I want to help you guys out. So we're going to go back to verse 19. See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. In the wasteland, it also meant in the desert. So there are areas that are completely dry in your life that God will bring abundance and clarity. I'm prophesying a relationship over someone. I'm prophesying a financial breakthrough over someone. I'm prophesying a new job, a newfound vision. And the reason why I'm telling you guys about the 2 things that are holding people back from their 2026 thing is their identity and their vision. That's what I got out of Isaiah 43:18 was identity, and Isaiah 43:19 is vision. I want you to see the work that God is doing in you, and I want you to take a step back. I want you to take your step back, have a 30-year vision, said, okay, do you want, Lord? I don't know what's going on this season of life, but I have a 30-year vision over my life. I'm seeing the goodness in the man that you're creating me to be. I'm going to be a very good father 30 years from now. I know I will. I'm going to be a very successful businessman 30 years from now. I know I will. I know I'm going to have unbelievable stories of my boxing career, unbelievable stories of my trials and failures, the inevitable that's coming with my business and with my ministry and with me helping people out and me being faithful to you. I'll have crazy stories. Remove yourself from the current 2026 first day picture, and I want you to think of 2056, the stories you'll be able to tell about the chances you took and how faithful God was along the way. I want you to really envision that, because once you identify with that version of yourself, the 2056 Kyle, my name is Kyle, by the way, the 2056, whatever your name is, the 2066 version, the 2076, those stories that person will have, those encounters, those blessings, those miracles that they've seen, those testimonies that they have, it is impossible to do that if you stay the same. You cannot experience the goodness of God if you don't let Him work. If I didn't take a shot on God for me to move down to Orange County, I never would have met my best friend at Revere Church. I wouldn't have gone to Freedom House. I wouldn't have. And I wouldn't have this prophecy spoken over me like I did yesterday. I had a pastor yesterday, the last day of 2025, single me out in the crowd, and he brought me to the front. The entire church stretched their arms towards me, and he said exactly the biggest pains of my life. He told me exactly the thing I've been praying God for, and he told me exactly what the devil took from me last year, and I don't know how he knew it. Deep down, I know it was the Holy Spirit that it revealed it, but he did it in front of an entire church. He told me that I have unbelievably deep generational family wounds that I am grieving with, and it has bothered me through my whole life, which is true. He told me that I lost a family, that he felt like that I was robbed of children. I was planning on marrying a girl last May, a few months ago. I was planning on marrying her. I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to put her on blast. I don't want someone to find this and text her, say something to her. But I genuinely love this girl in El Paso so much. My heart was so rich for her. I was willing to do anything for her, and I lost her. I did all the right things. I loved her with all of my heart. I was praying over her. I did the right thing, and honestly, I fell into temptation one time with her. But I did not have sex with her. I thought I did the best I possibly could. And I lost the woman that I was planning on marrying. I lost the woman that I wanted to mother my children. I lost the woman that I had so much desire and so much pride in and so much like admiration towards, you know? I lost that. And I feel like the devil robbed me from that. And he prophesied that over the whole church. He said, you feel like you lost a family your family, my family coming from my seed. I feel like I lost that this year. I did. I still do. But then he told me that God's going to repay me. And for me, the reason why I started my business, majority was because of my family's financial struggle. I started a business. Yeah, I want cool cars. I want a sick watch. I want a good looking girl. But the reason why the genuine root was because I knew the financial struggles my parents were having. That's why I started my company. That's why I did. And then the fact that he prophesied legacy over me. He prophesied the fact that I had generational hurt from my childhood as a kid. I struggled with depression and anxiety. I struggled with feeling significant. He prophesied that over my life. But do you know what he said? He told me God's doing a new thing, but you're going to have to fight for it. He told me in front of that whole church, Kyle, you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to fight for your family. You're going to have to fight for your purpose. You're going to have to fight for your legacy. The person watching this video, you need to fight for what God has for you this 2026, because it's not going to come easy. But I want to tell you something. The reason why it's hard, it's protecting it. Imagine if there was a golden treasure in downtown New York. I saw a video that Andrew Tate said this. Imagine there was a golden treasure chest in downtown New York. Within seconds, it would be ravaged and taken. And the reason why people don't have that golden treasure chest is because of all the struggle, all the pain, all the hardship, all of the challenges that it takes to find that specific thing. All of that it takes, that's why it's hard to get. The reason why there's only so many rare cars or so many Rolex watches or so many enormous houses in every city, and the reason why it's so hard to get, the reason why no one has it, it's because it's super hard to get. But the good thing is, testify of his goodness. You're not fighting for this lifestyle alone. You have the creator of the universe fighting for you. If God is for you, who can be against you? If God is for you with your purpose, then what can be against you? If God has a plan for you in your life to have that testimony, to have that car, to have that woman, and to live in that city, and to have that business, and to have that legacy, if you're fighting, and he's seeing you fight, he's not going to let that effort go unnoticed. God notices your effort. If you actually go for it, he will help. He really will. And I'm living proof of it. I'm be honest, I am not qualified to run the business that I'm running. I would be an idiot to chase my boxing goals. I would be an idiot to move to a place with no help, no job, no way out. I would be an idiot to do all these things. But if you're a fool for Christ, that's the best thing to be a fool for. Give everything to God. The world's not going to understand the chances that you're going to take. But how great is your faithfulness? If it says in the Bible, if you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, that you'll be able to move mountains. The thing is about a mustard seed, it is the smallest garden seed, but it's the biggest garden plant. What does that tell you about God's goodness and God's gratefulness, and how God will acknowledge the tiny bit of faith that you have? When I moved down here to California, when I started my own company, and when I decided not to take my own life this year, I was contemplating that after I saw the woman that I thought I was going to marry holding another guy at church. I was so low that I'm like, I don't know if I can keep going. I don't want to be alive. I don't want to be here. At the time I was living in Las Cruces. I was broke. There was literally zero things going for me, and I hated my life so much that I said, do you know what, God? I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to take my life. I refuse for this to be the way I go out. I'm not going out sorry. So God, out of discipline, I'm just going to decide to trust you with my finances. Out of discipline, I'm just going to trust you with my life. Out of discipline, I'm just going to decide to give this to you, because everything that I've been doing so far obviously hasn't worked. And the little bit I was walking with God, yeah, I saw a little bit of goodness and a little bit of that, but I wasn't all in. So I said, do you know what? I'm just going to give you a little bit. I'm just going to give you a little bit. And with the little tiny faith that I have, I'm just going to give you that little bit. And look what God did. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not on $10K a month like I want to be. I'm not a successful boxer. I'm not a successful Like, my ministry isn't successful, as you see with the view count. But what I'm telling you guys is this: if you give just a little bit of faithfulness, God will use a lot with it. I want to help people. That's the reason why I make random YouTube videos every once in a while. But I want my business to steward all nations. I want my business to plant seeds around the world. I want my business to be a giant revival in the United States and worldwide. I want my business to contribute to that. And I want my boxing career to be unbelievably successful, because I still do feel like the devil robbed me of a football career. I do feel that. I feel like the devil has stolen so much from my life. And I feel like generational patterns and curses have stolen so much from me. But I want to tell you guys something. See that God is doing a new thing. And the reason why it says, I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland, is because the very dryness, those dry finances, those dry relationships, that dry self view of yourself, that is the exact area God is going to move. My finances have been dry. God's going to move. I have a horrible self view. Last year, I had zero confidence in myself. I've worked so hard on my body. I've worked so hard on how I speak. I've worked so hard on my relationship with God. I worked so hard on my skill set. I worked so hard on my business. Yet I used to have zero confidence. God's going to move with that. I don't see it right now, but I'm going to speak it. I don't see it right now in my finances, but I'm going to speak it. I don't see it right now over my life, but I'm going to speak it. I don't see it right now in my boxing career, but I'm going to speak it. I dare you to have the faith to believe. I dare you to have the faith to try. I dare you have the faith to go for it. But if you stay the same, it will stay the same. You have to change. I'm completely changing my life over again. The biggest season of life of growth that I saw was I was living in a dopamine detox. I had no opportunity to meet women, even though I desire to have a girlfriend. I have no opportunity to make new friends, even though I desire it. But in that season of life, when I did that and I poured into God, God poured into me. Then he gave me the girl that I thought I was going to marry. Then he gave me a breakthrough in football at the time, which I thought was going to explode. Then he gave me a breakthrough with my friendships that I started to get closer with him. Seek first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. God knows what you want. God knows what you need. God knows what you desire, because he put those desires in your heart for a reason. But if you seek him first and dare to seek him first, he'll give it to you. And this word is honestly not just for you, but it's for me. I haven't been as disciplined as I should be, but I want to help you guys out because I know what God can do with a little. And if you just give him a little this year, he'll give you a lot. And if you give him a lot, he'll give you even more. And right now, I want this channel to be a testimony of how good and how fast God can turn things around, because I'm sitting here in a situation that I feel like I have no way out. I'm sitting here in a situation that I'm honestly terrified. I'm so scared, but I refuse to back down. I refuse to retreat. I refuse to surrender. I want you guys to do the same thing, because I would rather die chasing the life God has for me, and I die along the way, than be too scared to even go for it in the first place. I refuse to give up. I refuse to sell myself short. And as you should too. This is the real way that you can get what you want in 2026, is that you actually go for it. And forget the old things, forget the old patterns, forget the old way of life. This is how it changes. It takes a while for a chain to break, but chains break in an instant. It takes a lot of pressure. It takes a lot of pain. It takes a lot of bending. It takes a lot of movement. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot, but chains, they break in an instant. And I want to speak that over your life, because I'm speaking it over mine right now. By the end of this year, I pray that I'll have a girlfriend. I pray that I'll be on 10K a month. I'll pray that I'll already have a fight down here in Cali. These are the things that I want. And I'm going to work my behind for them day in and day out. But the life that God has for you, for me, is to be a successful businessman, boxer, and husband, have a successful ministry, have a successful company. The things that I feel like God has for my life, they're not going to come for free, because we do have a real adversary that's going to come for us. But the harder he's attacking you, the more scared of you he is. I almost lost my life 3 times this year. I had close encounters with death time in and time out this year. I had demons marking my car. I had demonic encounters that they would lift up my bed and throw it across the room. I had so many times in this last year that the gates of hell were trying to take me out, but the gates of hell, they did not prevail. All the weapons formed against me did not prosper. Yeah, the weapons might have worked, They might have grazed me, but it didn't kill me. And they didn't kill you either. So no matter what it is in this next season of life, go for it. Go for it, because what God has for you is worth it. It's worth the pain. It's worth the nicks. And by the way, the scars that the devil leave on you, those are some great stories to testify not just of God's goodness, but of your strength and your faithfulness to him. The scars on my body, the scars on my soul, the pain of my past, I don't see those as ways for the devil to shame me. I see it as a testimony of his goodness. All the ways that I've fallen are testimonies of his goodness, because where God's taking me, all those things, they couldn't hold me down. Me being sexually abused as a kid will not hold me down. My unbelievable depression and anxiety and my attempts to take my own life will not hold me down, because what God has for me is too much. All those attacks on my head since I was a kid, me being bullied day in and day out with death spoken over my life every single day. The gates of hell did not prevail. They didn't, and they won't over you as well. I'm so excited to see where you guys are going in this, not just 2026, 2027 to 2057, man. I'm seeing big things, big shifts. I want to prophesy over your life, man. Man or woman of God, it's turning up. The heat is turning up. The goodness is turning up. I feel like the person I'm talking to right now, they thought 2023 was their year. They thought 2022 was your year. But who cares, man? Just keep going. The more you stack, all you got to do is just get one day at a time, one win at a time, one step at a time. That's how you win. Only one win at a time. All it takes is one win. Do you know what? All this will take is one win. Let's just say if it's where you put your TV remote, do you know what? I'm going to win this year. I'm going to win today by putting it in a place that I know I'll find it. That's one win. The next win. Do you know what? I'm going to put my clothes away. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Stack the little wins for your big win. I hope you guys have a great day and God bless you. I hope this word found somebody and encouraged somebody. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I love you guys. And if you have any prayer requests, DM me on Instagram, because I'll happy to pray for you. God bless you guys.